We are almost at the point where we're saying goodbye 2024 and hello 2025. Well, I don't know if I'm welcoming it, but it is what it is. Can't stop time. Well, unless you're the doctor. This year has not been a single thing like I expected to. On the personal front, there has been a lot of. It's been a roller coaster, especially personally. It just I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say there has been a lot of soul searching, a lot of work on boundaries, and um, really what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not willing to accept on with my personal relationships. Really trying to see them for what they are and not what I want them to be, and really kind of finding how I fit within a number of these relationships. Needless to say, I'm coming out of 2024 on that front. I feel much stronger and with my eyes open just a little bit wider. This is a good thing. But it is on the professional front that I think, honestly, some of the most unexpected moments of this year have occurred. I came into this year not expecting at all some of the connections that I've made, some of the opportunities I have been given, some of the friendships that have developed. Absolutely not expected whatsoever. And all of them positive, hugely positive, and helpful, and just huge, all massive all the way around. And I am incredibly, incredibly grateful for those. I've also had to realize that no matter how much I may know, there is so much I do not know in terms of being a writer creator, um, and I've had to unlearn so much. I mean, even creating for upward over 25 years, there's a lot, and to discover that I'm not necessarily did it wrong. I just did it differently. And to really kind of be a professional in this industry, you got to do things a little bit, well, differently than what I've been doing. And you can't let that affect your self worth, which of course is always tough. Anytime we create things, they're kind of like our kids, our baby. We love them. We put all this time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into our work. And then we kind of let it out into the universe and pray not only that people like it, that it's well received, that it's cared for, and that maybe it stands the test of time. But when you realize that you have to go about what you're doing completely differently, it's like learning a brand new language. And I am not really good at linguistics. But lucky for me, I have over the last, especially last 6 months to, yeah, 6 to 8 months, discovered three pieces of information uh, from various sources that have really given me a perspective that I think going into 2025 is going to make my professional writing career uh, so much better and actually probably useful. And I want to share them with you. Number one of the things that I've discovered, and I didn't know this before until somebody, well, several somebodies, started pointing this out. I have been trying to write from writing a story perspective. And the thing is that when you're actually writing TTRPG scenarios, as the writer, you're not the storyteller. The story is not yours to tell. You are there to basically give enough information to give to the keeper or GM and have them kind of look everything over so that they can figure out their bag of tricks to be able to throw at the players. Because really, in the end, when it comes to gameplay, the players are the storytellers. Yeah, my mind was kind of blown too when I thought about it. The second thing I learned, and I'm going to paraphrase the wonderful person, John Hedge, who actually told me this. When you're writing a scenario, you're writing a workbook. You're not writing a novel. You're not writing the story. You're just writing down the tools and specifics. It's not quite stereo instructions, which in my mind, stereo instructions are generally very linear, but it's something kind of close. You're giving the people who are going to pick up that module the tools to be able to create the story, to create the world, to build everything that they need to build, to add these details into it. You're building accessories in a lot of ways. You're setting a stage, you're putting some props and stuff on the stage, and then you basically have to let the director and the actors do their thing. Oddly enough, this was mind-blowing for me because I have never written from that perspective before. And the third thing comes from the very well-known Brendan Lee Mulligan. He did an interview at some point that I just happened to come across on the socials, and he talked about how gameplay runs. The characters in any type of game want to go from point A to point Z as quickly as possible in as straight a line as possible. But players want the zigs and the zags and the somersaults and all of the all the challenges and everything else thrown in. They want as, generally as convoluted of a trail as possible. And it's the GM's job to be able to reach into their bag of tricks and pull out all of those fun rides and fun challenges and throw things at the players. The GM himself doesn't tell the story. Again, it's the players. The GM's job is to make that journey as enjoyable and as interesting as possible. Again, mind blown coming from that perspective. It just, So in the end, over the last 6 months, in my own mind, I have actually, for the very first time, even with all of my years of writing and creating and game mastering and everything else, right now is the first time that I can truly say that I see the writer of the scenario, the game master, and the player as 3 separate entities. Yes, they all work together and everybody is needed, but they're 3 separate entities. And if you are picking up the mantle of any of those 3, you're going to come at whatever's being created at the table from a very different perspective. This is not something I expected to ever learn, much less even conceive of at the beginning of 2024. So 2024 did not turn out in any way, shape, or form like I expected to. Now, all of those projects that I was basically feeling like a failure because they didn't get done, I'm beginning to wonder if they didn't get done for a reason. Somehow the universe knew that I needed a year just to learn and unlearn some bad habits, learn some better ones, really get a solid perspective on everything that I would need, really kind of sharpen and hone some of my skills and my knowledge. And now going into 2025, all of those projects, which are going to get done, are going to benefit from that. So no matter how much you think you learn, no matter how many years of experience you have in this business, there's always more around the corner to be able to pick up. And as long as you're willing and open to doing it, which I guess I was. So we'll see. 2025 is around the corner, and I have some projects on board that I think a lot of you will like. I'm hoping. And if this year was any indication, these things are going to be better than ever. But what do you guys think? Do you guys have any more advice, perspectives, ideas? I'd love to hear about them. Put them in the comments. And I will see you guys very soon. Merry Christmas.